everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J here with a review and try-on session using the new Cover FX Monochromatic Matte Plus Shimmer Blush and Bronzer Duos. And I'm very excited about this because Cover FX is not a company that I typically look to for color products, so I'm happy to see them branching out and coming out with new blush products. From the moment that I saw these on Instagram, I knew that I had to try these out because these look super cool. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'll give you guys the details about it, and then I'm going to try on all the colors that I bought in a demo. So here are the boxes that the products come in. As I said, they have blushes and they have bronzers. So as far as the blushes, there are 6 different colors, and as far as the bronzers, there are 2 different colors. So these retail for $38 and they have 0.51 ounces of products or 14.5 grams of products. So let me read you guys the description of these. So it says that these are a richly pigmented talc-free blush palette featuring a duo of monochromatic matte and shimmer shades for a multi-dimensional finish. So here's what the actual product looks like. It looks like a bar of soap. That's what Mel said, and I'm sticking to that description. That's pretty accurate to me, right? So it has that ivory color. It says Cover FX on it, and it's very slender. It has a magnetized opening, and it does come with a mirror. And then when you open it, here are the 2 products. So it's 2 pans of products in here, so it's not in the same pan, which I enjoy. I like to keep my things separate. So as you all can see, on one side is the shimmery products, and on the other side it is the matte products. So the shimmery products is like the gelée type formula, and the matte products is a traditional powder, and that's how all of the products are. So this one is the bronzer. So I have the color Sun-Kissed Bronze in the bronzer, which is the lighter of the 2 that were launched. So this one is described as a soft bronze. The other one is the darker of the 2, and that one is described as a rich bronze. I didn't get that one just because I feel like it would be too dark for my complexion, and you guys will see how this one works out in the demo, so stay tuned. And I have 3 of the blush duos. As you guys can see, it has the same packaging. The first color that I got is Warm Honey, and this one is described as a bronze rose. The next color that I picked up is Sweet Mulberry, and this one is described as a rich berry color, and it gives you berry, but to me it kind of looks purplish. And the last blush that I bought is Pink Dahlia, and this one is described as a soft pink. So the next colors that I did not pick up are Mojave Mauve, and this one is described as a dusty rose. Soft Peach, which I went back and forth about that one, but I didn't get it just because I thought it would be too light. This one is described as a peachy nude. And the last one is Spiced Cinnamon, and I did not get this one because I typically do not like reddish tones on my cheeks, and this one is described as a terracotta flush. I'm excited to show you all what they look like, so let's go ahead and jump into the demonstration, and then make sure you stay tuned until the end, and I will tell you all my final thoughts on these products. But I hope that you all enjoy. So first, let's try on Pink Dahlia. So I don't have anything on my cheeks right now. I am first going to go into the shimmery side, and I'm taking my Sonia G Detail Pro brush to do this. I am going to get a good amount of this product on my brush, and let's pop that here on top of the cheek. So mind you, I have not set my cheek area with any powders, so this is able to really cling to the products and pop a little bit more. This looks really nice. It's building up very well. It's a very natural highlighted look. I could use this as a highlight, or I could just use it as a blush topper to give more of a glow on the cheek area. But this color is really pretty. It looks like a naturally flushed pinky color. And I like it because it's not super pink. It almost has hints of peach in it too. Now let's take a little bit of the matte side of the blush. And this brush picked up a lot of that. So I'm just going to tap it off because I want to be intentional with my placement, and I am just popping that on the cheek area and blending it over. This is so pretty and pigmented. I love this color. The matte side is a little bit more powdery than the other side, so I will say pick up a little bit on your brush because it is going to pick up a lot of that product, and pat it on and then use circular motions to blend it out. I wouldn't go on going like this because you may get a lot of it everywhere, and that's not going to be cute. So I'm just popping this on the balls of my cheeks and then blending it backwards. And the shimmery side is like that gelée, so it just melts into the skin. So I really like the way that this looks. So you can do it like how I did and do the shimmer first and then do the blush, or you can do it the opposite way. It all depends on what you feel like doing. If you're a person who doesn't like a lot of pink, then this may be right up your alley, because I'm not a super pinky type person, but I really like this because, like I said, it looks almost melon-like. On the opposite side, let's try on Warm Honey. And I'm going to take the same two brushes that I cleaned off, but this time I want to do it in the opposite way. So I'm going to show you guys the matte blush first. Okay, that's really pigmented. I went in with maybe a little bit too much. That's a lot. Beautiful color. But it's almost going on kind of reddish on me. Can you all see how dark this is? I thought this would be a little bit lighter. It's giving me a little bit of a terracotta look. So I'm just blending that out. And here's what it looks like. Very pretty, and again, definitely very pigmented. Same detail brush. Now let's go into the shimmery side. So I'm just going to layer this right on top. Okay, I definitely like this color more with the shimmery side on top of the blush than I do with just the blush by itself, just because, like I said, this color is more terracotta like, and on my complexion sometimes they can look too red and almost look like a rash. So I have to be very careful with tones like this on my cheeks, because I don't want to look infected or I don't want my skin to look irritated. So the shimmer makes it look intentional. This is just with a light hand. Imagine if I got heavy handed with it. Actually, I'm going to, just to show you. I'm just going to go in heavy. You all see this? This can be built up very easily. Very easily. So the last blush that I bought is Sweet Mulberry. So let me open it. So I had this on in my Sephora haul video, and a lot of you guys complimented me on it. So I want to try it on again, so that way you guys can see how I applied it. So I'm going to go back to my first method, which is applying the shimmer side first and then the matte blush. So again, same brush that I cleaned off. I'm going to dip into the shimmery side. Because this color is a darker purple, I want to be very specific with my placement so I don't look like I have a bruised face, because this color is, I may have gone in too much. This color is a little bit dark for me. So in the video, I had this on the high planes of my cheeks, but I also had on a lighter highlight too, just to brighten it up, because you guys can see this color can go really dark on me. So I'm just going to blend this out with the brush and really diffuse this purple color. I actually am going to go back in with my beauty blender just to soften it up. So I don't have any additional foundation on my beauty blender. I'm just going over it with whatever was already on the beauty blender, just to make this wearable for me. If you have a deeper complexion, you won't have to do all this because it's going to pop against your complexion. On me, this is a little bit dark. So as you guys can see, that really softened up that color. So now again with the matte side, I'm going to go in with that same brush, but I have to be very careful with this color as to not look like I'm bruised. I'm going to dust this on my cheeks, and I just took a very small amount and then blend it backwards. Like gently tapping this and then going in with it, because going in with the swirl, I'm not going to be able to wear it. Okay, so this is as much of this color blush that I can wear. Any more than this, it looks like too much. It overwhelms my face. I'll show you what it looks like when I put on more, just so you guys can get a better idea of how intense this color can be. So I'm just going to load up the brush with this color and then blend it out. So you all can see, if you want it to be intense, it will go there. I don't want it to be intense, so I didn't, but if you wanted to make that shake, if your face can handle this color, then honey, don't let anything stop you. So if you all were wondering how am I removing my blushes, I'm just taking a makeup wipe and then going back over the area where I took the makeup off with my foundation and just blending it out. So the last thing that I have to try on is a bronzer, but before I try on the bronzer, I do want to set that area so it's not sticky and the bronzer is not sticking in those areas, which can happen. Anywho, let's try out this bronzer. To bronze, I'm going to take a different brush. This is is a Smith 151 brush. And so let's dip straight into this bronzer. So this bronzer looks a little bit darker. Again, it is powdery, so I would dip into it lightly so you're not getting a lot of kickback. So let's see. I made the right decision in getting the lighter bronzer because the darker one would have been too dark for me. This one is showing up very easily. Ooh, it's getting on my baby hair. She don't play that. Let me move that. My only word of advice to you with using this bronzer would be to go in with a light hand because it is a powdery bronzer. And sometimes with powdery bronzers, you can go overboard. So just go in with a light hand. I would not go in with a big fluffy brush with this bronzer because it will go everywhere because of the nature of the formula. So now let's try this shimmer. Again, Sonia G Detail Pro Brush. That's very natural looking. It just looks like my skin is glowing, not necessarily like I have on a ton of products. Let me see what this looks like with some spray. I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set. And I already have some products on my detailer brush. And let's see how this builds. Okay, that's slightly intensified. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit more than it was doing. Alright guys, so now let's talk about my final thoughts on these cheek products. As far as the formulation of these products, I think that they're very pigmented. A little bit goes a very long way. I did find for the matte side of all of these products to be more powdery in the formulation, which I'm not opposed to. I grew up using powdery type products. The Gelée formula is a newer formula. So while I enjoy it, I still enjoy the powdery products because I know how to work with that medium. With the powdery products, I would go in very light-handed because you are going to get a little bit of kickback. Whenever you dip your brush in, you do not need to dig your brush and swirl it around because I promise you, by tapping that powder product, you're going to get it on your brush. Your brush is going to have enough to do one cheek at a time. And you guys saw in the demonstration what too much powder can do on a cheek. It can overwhelm. So a little bit is all that's necessary. And you guys don't want to get a lot of kickback because that is a fast way to go through your products. And when you do that, you're going to have a lot come up in the air. But to apply these, I highly recommend using a natural hair brush just because I feel like a natural hair brush is going to give you the best blend, especially with the matte side. Matte powder products blend out so much better with a natural hair brush because a lot of times with powder products, synthetic hair brushes are not blending it out all the way. All it's doing is dusting it on your face. It's just dusting in the air. With the shimmer side, I also recommend using a natural hair brush because it's going to grip onto that product a little bit better and pick it up and not slip and slide over it and create hard pan, which nobody likes because there's a film that has developed over that product. But with the Gelée formula, you can pick up some of that product with your brush and spray it and intensify it. You cannot do that with your traditional powders because that is going to make it hard pan and it will be impossible to use. Even with spraying that side, it's not going to overly intensify it. This is a very soft type highlight. You can either look at it as a highlighter or you can look at it as a blush topper, and it's really going to vary how you can use it depending on your complexion as well as the color that you choose, because as you guys saw, some of the colors that I have are a little bit dark for me, so they're not necessarily going to work as highlights. They're going to work more so as a blush topper. These are very smooth, very finely milled, but just keep in mind that none of them are super blinding. So my favorite one out of all of these is Pink Dahlia, and that's because I feel like it really came alive on my cheeks. It gave me that nice pop, and I feel like it gives me a very fresh look, and I love this color. I like all of my other ones, but this one is definitely the standout one for me. As far as the bronzer, I like the bronzer, but I don't love it, and that's because I prefer a less powdery bronzer. Because with applying my bronzer, I like to be deliberate with my placement, and with blushes, I can be a little bit more liberal, a little bit more forgiving. I may blend my blush back. But with bronzer, I only like my bronzer to be in a specific area because otherwise it can muddy up my face and it makes it look dirty. So with this being a powdery bronzer, I have to be super careful with it. So it's a nice formula and intensified, but I do have other bronzers that I don't have to be as careful with. So that's why I don't think that this will ever be a bronzer that I all the way love. But it did deliver, it did perform, and I do like it. And I feel like this bronzer can work for people even even deeper complected than me. If you're about a MAC NC45, MAC NC47, I definitely think this bronzer will work for you because this color is very saturated and it shows up a lot darker than it appears, as do all of the other cheek products in this collection. So these cheek products will work for a variety of complexions. If you have a lighter complexion, it will work, on down to if you have a deeper complexion, it will definitely work because these colors are very saturated, they're very pigmented, and they all show up darker than they look in the pan. So just keep that in mind. I want you guys to tell me which color was your favorite that I tried on down in the comment section. I look forward to reading what you guys think about everything, and I will check you all in my very next video, which will be what? Super soon. Smooches. Bye.